Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Maryland Jockey Club at Laurel Park for a Saturday edition of Today at the Races. I'm Dan Illman along with Keith Fustel, and it's not just a regular Saturday here at Laurel Park. It's a super Saturday. It's the Francis Dash Day. 4 stakes races worth $550,000 in purses, highlighted by the Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash. And Dean Delivers is looking to go back-to-back and belly-to-belly.
Dean Delivers going to try to come back and do it again. You're right. I'll kind of a little fresh, well, off the freshing, ran at Monmouth Park. A big effort. We're going to see Subrogate in there as well. They faced off at Monmouth Park. But, yeah, DeFrancis Dash, you go back, the late, great Frank DeFrancis, everything he brought to racing, brought to Maryland. I mean, geez, I sit sometimes and I wonder, like, moving forward when we're going to have the new Pimlico, what would Frank do? I mean, he was just, just a great individual. Glad we got this race. Joe and Karen put it together on the go back. It really had some unbelievable fields in the past, and we're going to work back to that, I'm sure. Horses like Northern Wolf, Safely Kept, Housebuster, you name it. Just some quality sprinters. Francis Dash Day, always a day that I look forward to every year on this card. Yep.
Plus a special attraction earlier in the card, the Deputed Testimony Stakes, Maryland Bred Horse of the Year. The very popular post time looks to make it 9 for 9 right here at Laurel Park. 2 other strong stakes races as well. 12 on the docket. Main track fast. Turf Firm, remember, special first post time today, 12:05 Eastern. Let's take a look at the weather conditions, and it's remained pleasant. It was a little cool yesterday. 74 degrees right now, not blistering hot at all, not humid, just a pleasant day for racing.
Yeah, we hope you can join us out there. Again, 12 races. We've got the ATM machine stacked with cash. If you got to get back and get back to the window and take a little visit, we want you to kind of jump back in. You can buy in as many times as you like here at Laurel Park today, because I know I might need it.
Let's start things off with race number 1 on the firm turf course. 5.5 furlongs, 3-year-olds and up, which have started for a claiming price of $12.5 or less in their last 3, or the claiming range 20 down to 16. It's a full field of 10. It's the first leg of the first of 2 value pick 5 wagers. It's a low takeout, 12% takeout. Maximize your earnings potential by taking advantage of this takeout. Keith's going to try to do so with this ticket.
Yeah, it's a reasonable ticket, $16. I'm gonna need Stoney, but I got to get through the first race first. 3, 8, 9, 2. Really tough to separate. Even Sue Loves Barbados, Island Delight, Just Say When, Lingering. If you want to spread a little bit more in this first, I definitely would advise it if you can afford it. Race 2, we're going to go ahead and single Stoney. Waiting for this return to private purchase now for Manicat, Dub, and Company for BTR. Going to be a short price, scratch to 2, Tethered Soul in race 2, but he better be tied on for his return. He's going to face some nice horses. Race 3 with the 2 and the 10, nothing but Blue Sky, Pharaoh's Mark. The filly taking on the boys, I think, has got a shot after going back a little late audible and watching some film. I'm definitely going to use that one in there for Susan Cooney. Scratch the 4, 6, and 11. We had to really change things up there in race number 3. Race 4 with the 3 and the 6. Post time in the debuted testimony, along with Awfully Cool. Late scratch, Mo Visitor. This came in. Mo Visitor 2 is out in race number 4. Race 5 will complete this early value pick 5 with the 2 and the 8. Heat check. Neymar. Scratch the 1. Tartable the 6. Let's Go Lando and the 9. Out of race 5. It's a $16 ticket in that early value pick 5.
Now you're going to use 4 in the first
Yeah.
leg. Talk me on to your top pick,
Yeah.
the 8 Normandy Hero, trying turf for the first time for Jamie Ness. Down the road speed show, perhaps?
I'm hoping. We saw Ness catch a price, I think it was last week, and it might have been early in the card, might have been the opener, to get it done. Yeah, Omaha Beach is okay. 14, 15% with the turf sprinters. This horse just absolutely blitzed that field of condition claimers at Parks last time out. Correct note, widen under wraps, really never ask at all. There is some speed to the inside with a horse like Retained, maybe Mean Jakey, but I like the protect move in here. Ness, he's been good year in and year out when he pops a horse first-time turf. You know, on the go back last year, I think it was Cactus that got it done, and he's gone on to be a really good turf sprinter. I will take a shot with Normandy Hero. Good break. I think he's going to be around a long way.
This is a very competitive group. I can certainly see why you're spreading in the early value pick 5. By the Seashore is my tepid top selection. This horse is returning off a 237-day layoff, but he won off a 7-month break to kick off his 2023 campaign over this course and distance. He faced some decent competition last time out when he finished 4th. It was kind of a inside-out closer's trip. He ran fine behind a fast pace. He's going to need a little bit of pace because he's a kicker. One of the horses came out of that race, earned a 78 buyer in his very next start over the Gulfstream Tapeta. He's a solid horse.
Yeah, he's really faced good competition throughout his career. You would think maybe he be determined. Boss is a pal, have been against the toughest turf sprinters. Really kind of difficult to separate. The Centennial horse is interesting. Forest Boys. We're going to go to the video spotlight for Boss is a Pal. Forest is going to go here. You got Villa Lobos on Be Determined. But first eighth of a mile at Pimlico, you're going to see this horse just kind of getting a little bit of a pickle, a little bit of a jump of a shadow. There's a knoll there on that backside at Pimlico. You might have thrown this horse off his game just a little bit, but is able to recover. It makes a pretty good bid in between horses. We're going to pick this one up here top of the stretch. Works outward, challenges, and just can't quite finish up with Cactus, who was just a little too good that day. Cactus has gone on to run well, but Boss is a Pal, I think, will be forward. I don't know if he's going to be right on the lead. I don't know if he's quite as fast as Normandy Hero, if Normandy Hero takes to the turf. Retained just to his inside, so I think Forest Boyce will kind of draft herself into a good inside position and stalk and try to make a move from there.
And Suzanne Tanius excels with horses going 3rd off layoffs. Boss is a Pal, Be Determined. Both of these horses have done well going 3rd off the layoff. I think Princess Clemmy, who Tanius sent out to win a 22-1 the other day, went 3rd off of a layoff. So I'm expecting Boss is a Pal with that tactical speed to work out a really nice strip from close to the pace. Be Determined, the number 10, figures to make a strong run in here. How about Island Delight, the 7? I think this horse had a sneaky trip last time out. I thought he was kind of down inside, over in behind horses. Jock really never got a chance to get to the bottom of Island Delight. I think there might be more in the tank.
Yeah, and I think he can lay a little bit closer, as evidenced by the race after the break. He made that move. He sat behind horses, altered out. I've given this horse the comment trying a couple times. He's willing enough, and if any of these horses, the top 3 or 4 selections, have a little bit of a hiccup, he can certainly work it out and move into it and be a major player through that last eighth of a mile. Talking about Be Determined, your second selection, as is mine for Suzanne Tanius. He's kind of done this move before. The route to sprint, he did a 3rd off of a break last year and ran big. I expect a good run for him, but I'll take a little flyer in the opener. I think this horse right now is taking early play, the Ness horse Normandy Hero. The horse I maybe would trust the most, I would say be determined to make that run.
He's real solid no matter what the distance. Just Say When is sort of interesting for Michael Stidham. This horse is racing with a bar shoe today. He scored at Fairgrounds last time out. We do have a trainer stat for Stidham, who seems overdue here in Maryland. Last out winners, first after 61 to 120 days, 4 for the last 18, 22%, 257 ROI. We kind of know these horses. We've seen the By the Seashores and the Be Determineds and the Bosses of Pals and the Sue Loves Barbados. Don't know exactly what we're going to get from Just Say When. This seems like a class hike, and again, the bar shoe is on.
Correct. He enters the open company. I don't know if those horses at Fairgrounds, were as good as a couple of these. He's moving in the right direction. He's still got to move forward.
8-10-9-3 for Keith, 9-10-7-3 for me in the opener on DeFrancis Day at Laurel Park. Race number 2 is on the main track. It's at 6 furlongs. It's for 3-year-olds who do not want to race other than maiden claiming or starter. Optional tag 62.5 down to 50. Take out the 2. Tethered Soul. You talked a lot about Stoney, and we have a video spotlight for Stoney's second lifetime start. In this race, Stoney was trained by Annette Eubanks. Stoney dominated the field and was purchased privately afterwards.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a hiccup out of the gate. I was not here this particular afternoon. A little bobble at the start, but he was able to recover. And boy, he went up to the inside and set the pace well in hand. Responded upper stretch to draw off by 4 and change. 123-4 for a 2-year-old.
Not bad
7/8 of a mile. Private purchase, Lasix on, freshened up. I know we've got a stat, I'm sure, for Brittany here. Yeah. First time Lasix, first after this kind of layoff, 7 for the last 21, 33% strike rate. Sort of super impressive in debut, too. Off slow, really had a bad start to move into that flow. Was dead game against a pretty good horse. So Stoney in return. Usually I don't do this. He's only won once. He's facing a couple of horses that have won 3 times, and they've been pretty impressive when doing so.
And one of them is my top pick, the 3, Do It For Michael, a horse that has good early speed. And I wonder if Do It For Michael is going to try to take the race to Stoney, breaking just inside of that foe. Now, went to the front last time out was Do It For Michael, but the horse that was pushing him, It's Hammer Time, is very, very good. And Do It For Michael just couldn't step with that horse. The 5th place horse in that race was Saxton. He came back and placed at Pimlico with a 76 buyer, then won here with a 79. So Do It For Michael is a 3-time winner. He has early speed in a short field. Maybe he'll be a better price. I think he should be a better price than Stoney. Maybe he can pull off a slight upset with a little bit of a recency edge.
I think I like Stoney, though, positioned outside for Do It For Michael. I think we can go ahead and spy up. I think we're going to have a good idea by the time they leave the 3/8 pole what kind of horse Stoney has returned, what kind of form he's returned in. Here's a stat for Do It For Michael. Jerry Robb, second time Lasix on the dirt, 7 for the last 31. 23% strike rate with an ROI of 225. What about Zero Blitz? This is a horse moving up, and up. A really good try off the claim. We've got a video spotlight. Had some trouble at the break.
Did not break well at all in this race. The first start off the Joanne Schenkel claim. See a little bit of a bobble there, and then the next thing you know is really behind the 8 ball. But at the end of the day, things worked out for Zero Blitz because they blitzed the opening quarter mile in 22.26, and I think the speed sort of came back to Zero Blitz a little bit. Zero Blitz found a nice spot under Tyus Liapestina, who got this horse to settle after that slow break. And you're going to see Zero Blitz make a move and sweep by the pace setters. The 4th place finisher from this race came back to earn an 81 buyer speed figure when second and a quarter starter. Everything went right for Ty. Stayed patient, didn't swing to the outside, found the split in between, and sweeps on through. Zero Blitz did the rest. This is a horse that, as you said, though, is really improving. If the 3 and the 4 kind of hook up in here, it sets things up well.
It sets things up beautifully for Zero Blitz. And even like a horse like Change My World, it takes the blinkers off from Mary Epler. I've always liked this guy. He's got some ability. He was caught wide against a good field at Pimlico. Sharp workout into this. Let's go to the stat, though. My bad, real quick, for Joanne Schenkel. Second off the claim, on the dirt, 3 for the last 13, 23%. 303 ROI. But yeah, Change My World's got some ability. He's changed some good horses. He might need some help as well.
And that's race number 2. We'll see how good Stoney is. We'll see if Do It For Michael can get to the front, maybe try to slow things down a little bit. But Stoney's going to be breathing down his neck. A very promising runner to be sure. 4-1-3-6 for Keith, 3-4-1-6 for me. Race number 3, a mile and a 16th on the turf. It's a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds and up. Take out the 4 Egypt. Take out the 6 Danner. Take out the 11 snowy night. So your two morning line favorites are out of this race. This is the first leg of our first of three 50-cent pick four wagers on the afternoon. The prices have been there recently, and we're going to try to perhaps look for a few prices in here. You like the number 2 in here, Nothing But Blue Sky.
Nothing But Blue Sky. Coming off of a race here at Laurel, I thought it was pretty good. Ran a good, solid third quarter in that race. Made the move Magical Mondays the first time. I think that was the first. No, he wasn't the first time. For Tim Woolley was able to kind of benefit and get it done. This field really took a change. You get the 4 and the 6 out of here. They were going to take major play. I like the positional speed. I know that opening quarter and a half was a little bit dawdling, but Nothing But Blue Sky against this field should be within range by the time they hit the far turn. I think Dat's Tap is a horse off the sprints now with a couple of these scratches. Might go ahead and show some speed, but Nothing But Blue Skies, yeah, a like, not a love kind of play. Kelly Rulich, I think she had a couple of these horses by Divisadero that have done all right. You got Villalobos, who I like riding on the turf. The 10, Pharaoh's Mark, comes in here. You've got this one in the mix for Susan Cooney. Yes, a filly against the boys, but that last race at Monmouth, again, we were talking about, was that a little bit of an inflated number, the 67? Maybe. The field was okay. The 8th place finisher came back to win. Some other horses came back to run well out of that race. This horse was making a sneaky good rail move at the quarter pole before getting it a little close at the 3/16, protected late. I think this horse can bring a finish. There's a little bit more sustainable run for this filly.
Yeah, the 4th place finisher from that race came back to run second in a maiden special at Monmouth with a Beyer speed figure of 71. This horse might be rounding back into her best form in her 3rd start of the form cycle. Just going to be looking for a little bit of pace. You mentioned the pace. Do you think Jorge Ruiz is going to be aggressive from the rail? Artist Mark is stretching out for the first time as a new gelding. This horse showed a little bit of speed on dirt last time. Do you see maybe Ruiz getting aggressive?
I could see that, yes. He was up against a pediatrician who went down to
Kentucky
horse after that really good debut. Came back to beat that field pretty handily. Wins by 6. I've always thought the talent has been there for Artist Mark. It's suddenly starting to show, first-time gelding. I think the ability is there. This is a questionable field. He would not surprise me. He was on my original picks. I kind of backed them off, but will be part of my exact is in race 3. You're looking at a first-time starter deterrent for Arnaud Delacour. None of these siblings have run really, really fast, but there's 6 winners in the family.
6 winners in the family. This is by one of my favorite racehorse sires, Midshipman, very underrated. A $90,000 weanling purchase, a $160,000 yearling purchase. The dam only raced once in her career. She won that race. It was on the turf at Belmont Park. This is the family of Smarty Jones when you go all the way back. Wow. When you go to YouTube, you can see Arnaud Delacour's workouts, and that last workout at Fair Hills was in company with a horse named Sleepwalker, a horse that's already earned a 79 Beyer speed figure. I thought Deterrent worked very well inside of Speedwalker, got the better of that horse by a neck. So if you believe this field is a little bit questionable, maybe Deterrent can run a little bit. Arnaud Delacour usually comes in here ready to roll.
Yeah, I'll toss in the 7. You have the 7 in there in the mix as well. Bully for you. There's like nobody really to kind of just latch onto here in race 3. But again, went and watched this video again this morning. Overland Trip. That was all I could see. 4 wide, 3 wide to first turn, called 3 deep, then 4 wide down the backside. A little bit hesitant top of the stretch. I think gained some experience there. Second time routing for Danielle Hodson. It's a horse I think you can throw into the mix.
I think that this horse is taking a hidden class drop in here. Look at the horses he was in against in his debut. Twain came back and was stakes placed at Pimlico, I believe. Enzo, of course, came back to win his next start. And then I thought that last race, this horse is 120 to 1. I think the runner-up, Richard Feynman, is okay. So this horse fits very well and should be a decent price second-time route. You're going with Nothing But Blue Sky, 2, 10, 9, and 7. We'll see if Arnaud Delacour is the first-time starter. Deterrent, the number 5 ready, 5, 10, 2, and 7 for me. Race number 4 is the first of our 4 stakes races on De Francis Dash Day. It is the $125,000 Deputed Testimony Stakes for 3-year-olds and up, going 1 mile and an eighth. Take out the 2 Mo Visitor. It's all about post time. We have a video spotlight.
Yeah, post time coming off the race at Churchill Downs in the Blaine, Grade 3 Blaine. Mystic Dan into the mix. So salty field. Took plenty of play, ended up going off as the favorite, Dan.
Ended up going off as the favorite, and why not? He had such a sensational year last year, second in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. It looks like for a second Sheldon wanted to go outside, and then he saw that Mystic Dan got the split. And he decided, I'm going to follow Mystic Dan. He's the horse to beat. He got the jump on me. I don't want to go all the way around. And I just don't think it really worked out. Post time sort of in behind horses. He's trying really hard all the way down to the wire. And we know Mystic Dan, the Kentucky Derby winner, loves Churchill Downs. Post time ran really well, as he always does. And he just seems to tower over this field. And if you don't believe Brittany, well, she's been going pretty well lately. She had a winner yesterday. Doesn't count in this stat. 11 for 39 going into June 22nd.
Yeah, with the scratch of Mo Visitor, I thought would possibly go from the inside to maybe keep Speediness busy. Post time, how close do you kind of see him through the backside? The blinkers have gone on. He was pretty much full of some run in that return try, first time blinkers. You know, they're going to try to, I guess, slow it down a little bit in front of him.
That helps post time, I think, a little bit. Because
okay.
I think that if the pace is slow, post time's not going to be more than 5-6 lengths out of it. I don't think he's some plotter that's going to just fall out of there and be 15 lengths out, whether it's fast or slow. I think if this race is a slow pace race, it could turn into who has the best kick. He's got the best kick. And if they go fast early, they're going to come back to him late. So I just think this race obviously sets up for him. He's a heavy favorite. But if you believe that a horse like Speediness can get to the front, we do have a trainer stat for Jamie Ness and Speedy Ness.
Speedy Ness. What's that stat?
Last out winner sprint to route, 35%, a $2.05 return on investment. This horse last time out got away with a nice easy opening quarter of 23 seconds and then put that field to bed. Second quarter, 22:15. Maybe that's the way you try to beat a horse like Post Time going a mile and an eighth. You slow down the first half, and then at a key point you try to build up an insurmountable lead in the third quarter mile.
That certainly could work. He's going to see a familiar face in Awfully Cool. They've squared off a couple times. Awfully Cool beat him on May the 27th at Park. Should go back to that race in February at Laurel on that muddy sealed surface. I thought Speediness rode the wave of the racetrack that day. It was a little bit better inside. Don't discount Awfully Cool. This is a really good racehorse. They're all good. Speediness is not going to go down without a fight. You could see one heck of a horse race from the quarter pole home.
And we have a video spotlight for Awfully Cool, by the way. Here he is at Parks back on May the 27th. He defeats Speediness in this race, and he's just an honest horse that shows up every time. A little bit of an early lead change on the turn for Awfully Cool, but he has all the momentum on the outside, and he sprints on by. He's earned 90 Beyer speed figures or plus in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of his last 10 starts. He's solid. Post Time's going to have him nailed on tight to beat a horse like this.
I completely agree. He is really good. You go back to a 98 Beyer. He's serious in the deputed testimony. Here's a trainer for trainer staff for Asintos Elise between June 9th, June 18th, 4 for 15, 27% with a 228 ROI. Deputed testimony, shorter field, but nothing short of some serious talent.
And the most talented one is probably Post Time, who will be a heavy favorite, and we're going 3-6-4 in the deputed testimony. Race number 5, 5.5 furlongs, 2-year-old Maryland bred or sired. It's a maiden special weight, $45,000 is the purse. A little disappointed that Anna's Bandit's baby Tartable won't be here to participate. Let's Go Lando, and Our Day Will Come will scratch, but it makes it a really interesting betting race. It's the first leg of the second of our 3 50-cent pick 4 wagers, and a lot of times experience counts. Neymar got a good debut experience at Delaware Park, the number 8 for Gary Kapp.
We had so many video spotlights today. I kind of left this one off, but again, going back and watching this race, a little bit of a hop out of the break, slightly outward, and then was rushed up into that opening flow of 22 and 2 to duel, stayed on the left lead through the stretch, kind of hanging a little bit outside of that inner arrival, but all in all, gave way grudgingly. It just set it up perfectly for the top 2 finishers in there, but experience can count, a sharper break. Neymar, we know, do we have a stat for, we did have a stat for Gary Kapp. We can still show it. It's Let's Go Lando stat. But anyhow, that was third time, my bad. Second time Gary Cap's always very, very good.
Second time Gary Cap, very good. 5 for the last 13. Third out maidens, it's Gary Cap, 38%, 214. But let's talk about the 7, Stick to the System. One of 2 in here for trainer Jerry Robb. This is a colt by Engage, a young stallion, doesn't have a lot of statistics. A $5,000 yearling, but what an interesting pedigree. The dam is a full sister to Coastal Mission. The King of Charlestown has earned over $1 million in his career, and she's also a full sister to Louisfield, a very fast, multiple stakes winning dirt sprinter. Engage had some speed as well. I like that this horse has a couple of 5/8 mile breezes, just like the 2 Heat Check. Maybe Stick to the System's a horse that can do okay. Jimmy Rodriguez takes them out.
Yeah, I like the fact that both of these Robb horses, they kind of improving, the couple 5/8s, making some strides in the morning. They're both players. Heat Check, the 2, you're looking no further than the top side. Blofeld gets a really good horse and a first-time starter strike rate of about 17 or 18%. So the works are there. 2 first-time starters out of this family, and they've gotten it done right out of the box. So Heat Check, interesting with Danny Santana.
Plenty of speed in this pedigree. The horse was entered and scratched on June the 7th, but a half to Liar's Dice, who was stakes placed on dirt with a 94 buyer and was a debut winner. The Dam was a debut winner, stakes winning turf sprinter. So again, won't be surprised if this horse shows speed. Now has to overcome the inside post position. Brittany Russell excels with first-time starters. She'll saddle the number 3, Boss Mode, coming in off a string of solid workouts.
Yeah, all 3 of these runners have hit the board. A win, a second, and a third for the runners. 3 winners. They haven't run super fast out of this mare, but again, we saw yesterday with Brittany with that horse she unveiled, ran like a lower to mid 60 buyer, little trouble out of the gate, and just drug itself to contention and then just blitzed the field. That was a good debut for that runner. But Heat Check, again, also talking about that family, kin of the Wolfman.
That's right, a lot of speed there too. So again, there's a lot of speed and precocity inside with Heat Check. Maybe this horse will show speed. Dancing Danae is stepping up in class after facing open quarter. Maiden Clambers ran really well that day.
That was one of on our horses to watch on the handicapping guide on our website. Please check that out again. Really good information from the whole team. Willie Humford gives some great trip notes. I was reading some of that stuff again this morning, but I think even down the road, I'm not so sure about today, but good experience. This horse showed speed, took back, made a couple moves, and finished up quite well. I think as things get longer, you're going to see Dancing Danae even get better.
Gary Cap scratched 1, leaves in Neymar. That's your top pick, 8274. I'm looking for the Jerry Robb uncoupled entry, Exacta 723 and 8 in race number 5. Race number 6 is back on the turf. We're going 1 mile on the weeds. Scratch the 1, Maupassant. Scratch the 12, Knucker Punk. The 13, 14, and 15. The 11 will run. Ismerio Villalobos picks up the mount. It's a maiden claimer, 16 down to 12.5. Maryland breds eligible for the 20,000. You like Tyson's Delivery, the number 5 in this race. This is, of course, the Super High 5 jackpot race. $35,603 into the pool, 11 horse field, 10 horse field. It is a wild jackpot Super High 5 sequence as always. Good luck. If you don't hit it today, we got to give it away tomorrow.
I thought Robbie Bales had a shot to win a couple today. Unfortunately, Danner scratched earlier in this card. Leaves him with 1 runner on today's racing card. Tyson's Delivery, the 5. Let's go right to the video spotlight. This is the turf debut for Tyson's Delivery. Coming off of a dirt route at Pimlico, stretched out that day at Pimlico and then stretched out, went a route again over this turf course. This horse is showing the ability to handle a route of ground on either surface.
This horse has found a home, I think, on the turf, and I know he was rounding into form with a couple of good dirt efforts. He ran really well in this race. This is a solid pace. He was pushing that horse to the inside, and he just gets run down by a closer that might have benefited from Tyson's Delivery's good work. He simply ran better than my top pick in that day. The 7, Annihilate Him, who was returning to turf for Henry Walters, was the favored that day. Was sitting in a decent enough spot, sort of a second over trip, eased 3 wide with aim and was just flat under the wire. His turf debut 3 starts back when he was with Jerry Robb, I thought was a good effort where he chased Baby Oscar, who got loose on the lead. I know Annihilate Him has tactical speed. He has to run back to that turf debut instead of the last race. Maybe he'll be a slightly better price in here, but Tyson's Delivery is another horse that you have to consider.
Yeah, I used Annihilate Him last time, and you see my short comment. Washy pre-race, angled out a little bit empty. This horse, something got him off his game. Check him out again in the paddock and as they enter the track, and follow him all the way almost to the gate. He just kind of left his race out there, it looked like, that particular afternoon. Maybe he's in a little bit better condition mentally today. He just wasn't there. I still went after him at a short price. But I think Tyson's delivery, I love the way he ran last time. I don't think he needs to be pressing if anybody else wants to go. I think he can sit back and make a run from a little bit further.
Keith talked me on to him. Make my pick 7534 for the afternoon show. Absolutely, 7534 for the afternoon show. I'm serious about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Christmas Spirit, the number 4, a horse who's taking a pretty solid class drop in here. He's in for the 20. The last time he was out, okay, he didn't run very well. He was beaten by a favored winner. He was a big price that day. A horse has already come out of that race to drop in for a tag and on a 60 buyer speed figure. I don't want to give up on Christmas Spirit at this reduced level. I can make an excuse for the debut. Didn't get away great from a tough outside post position. If he can run, he's running for the Maryland bred 20.
Yeah, I just that last race, I figured he would still run a little bit better. 2-back try, 10 post. If he brings that back, he's right in the mix. He's in the top 4 against this group today. So we're a little bit of a guess for Christmas Spirit, but I think he's going to bounce back.
I don't want to give up on Katie Voss's horse, the 3 Triple Sec, who's only raced once on the turf, and that was in a very tough 45,000 open waiver. The horse broke from post 12 that day, was hung out wide. I think he can just make excuses. After that, gets washed off at Pimlico, catches a wet dirt track where I don't think ran very poorly at all against Uncle Gray. The blinkers are coming on. This is a horse that I can see maybe getting at least into the exotics at a price, if not more. I could certainly use him in the Jackpot Super High 5 somewhere.
He was right out of that race with Christmas Spirit. They weren't too far apart. A line I will throw into the mix, hasn't been seen since mid-April. That was the second time he was on the turf. I used him that day. He was outside, but he was able to get okay position inside, challenging for the lead, just to fade late. Maybe a covered up trip will take him a little bit further, help that run through the last 3/16 of a mile. But that winner, El Fuegos Masperlante, has come back to run buyers 64, 65, 66. They all play against this kind of group.
Do you think Tyson's delivery is just going to go right to the front in here? That's how I would ride him in here. I think he's faster than a line. I don't really trust some of the other speeds in this race. I would try to get to the front. I mean, those were fast fractions last time out, and maybe they can back him down.
Yeah, if he works and clears around the first turn into the backside, you're right. Takes a hold, could be over.
5, 7, 4, and 2 for Keith. 7, 5, 3, and 4 for me in race number 6. Halfway done on our 12-race extravaganza on DeFrancis Dash Day at Laurel Park. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, race number 7. Welcome back to Today at the Races. I'm Dan, he's Keith. 6 down, 6 to go. Time for our Chesapeake Pick 6, beginning in race number 7. 5.5 on the turf, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. They've not won they've started for a claim price of 25 or less and have not won 2 or the 25-20 non-winners at 2 Life. Take out the 3, 4, 6, and 9. Again, first leg of our Chesapeake Pick 6. Carryover slowly creeping upwards. If you pick all of the winners in the last 6 races, and you're the only one to do so, you get the entire jackpot. It's another wager that if it's not hit today, we must pay it out tomorrow. Race number 7, Jay-Z's Last Chance is the number 13. This horse ran really well last time out, and arguably is the best closer in the field.
Yeah, addition of Lasix last time, the number jumped 16 points. I really liked her turf debut on the go back at Hawthorne with a win. Chased her 2-back, chased her last time, got that serious flow well wide to make the run over to Leftley very, very late. But I think it was a good performance, a nice improvement first time Lasix. And I think there's 3 or 4 horses that are need-to-lead types in here. She's going to get a chance to draft over by the time they hit the far turn, save a little bit more ground. Maybe not the overland trip through from the top of the stretch home. Maybe this horse will try to find a little bit of a split.
I won't mind though if he goes to the out. She goes to the outside. I just think she's a very strong closer. She showed that last time out. Parola Sakura, the number 7, is probably the horse to beat, taking a big class drop. First time Damon Dilla DeVico. This horse was entered and scratched on May 17th, but we have a video spotlight for the preceding race on April the 18th. Now, we may disagree on this. I thought Parola Sakura causes all of her own trouble.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit rank. You see that got off of her game. And it was not the cleanest of trips right there, throwing the head about and checking pretty sharply, taken up right around leaving the 5/8 pole, but was able to recover. I thought the recovery was quite good.
The recovery was quite good, and she ends up swinging widest into the stretch. She's out of the picture, but she is going to come with a good run to finish 6th. So we do know that the kick is still there, and one of the horses that she finished ahead of came right back at this first level allowance race with a 71 Beyer speed figure, finishing 2nd. So Parola Sakura can still step. It appears she's getting the class drop that she needs from that open first level allowance to this strict non-winners of 2 life. Damon, first after the trainer switch, has been doing very well.
And Damon, 6 for the last 24, 25% with a 216 ROI. And Dan, she's run here twice. She's run 2 really good races. Maybe that's why they left her here. Yeah, you got a little bit of a scratch, but I think she gets a beautiful setup today. Just has to behave a little bit better, settle a little bit better through that first 3/16 of a mile.
It looks like the 1 and the 2 are the speeds down towards the inside, trying turf for the first time. I wonder if the 5 Conceptualized can fall into a good trip. If you go to our YouTube channel, Maryland Racing, you get to watch all of our videos. Pan and head-on. Watch Conceptualize's head-on replay from the start. This horse was bumped and forced out very badly, and for a horse that needs to be on the lead, it really hurt Conceptualize. She stayed in behind cover. I understand what Ruiz was doing, got to the outside late, and she flopped back to her left lead. I think she likes it when she can get more of a free-running trip. I can see her sitting 3rd under Michael with first run on the closers.
That's exactly where I want to see her. See her laying 3rd into the turn, a couple lengths out of it, a chance to relax and let those speed types do what they got to do. Maybe they'll battle themselves into submission. But I think Conceptualize moving up back into really good form. Aaron McClellan with a winner the other day.
13, 7, 5, 12 for both of us in race number 7 to kick off the Chesapeake Pick 6. Race number 8. Good race. 6 furlongs. Purse is $37,000. 3 and up, which have started for a claiming price of 20 or less in their last 3, or the claiming range 30 to 24. Big scratch. The one CPG might have been able to put a little bit of heat on Brother Conway. This is the first leg of our late value pick 5. Low 12% takeout. Our friend and colleague Mackenzie Pfeiffer has a ticket to share with all of us.
It's a $36 ticket, and there's going to be a lot of weight on the 5. Brother Conway for Kieran McGee and Sheffield Stable. She's going to go 3 deep here in race number 9 with the 1, the 4, and the 7. A couple scratches out of the Alma North at 3, 5, and 8 are out. Race 10, and she finds it even a little trickier. The Prince George's County, that is just wide open in my opinion. She goes 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the 11th. The 3 and the 7, Celtic Contender, Dean delivers. And let's complete this late value pick 5 in race number 12 with the 1, the 8, and the 10. We have a video spotlight for the 1, Imperial Spy. $36 for Mackenzie Pfeiffer's late value pick 5.
Speaking of video spotlights, we have one with Brother Conway and Murray. There was a lot to prove for Brother Conway. Voided claim back in June of 2024. First off, the layoff wasn't great. Dropping in class in here. Murray showed good positional speed. He is pushing a solid pace. Second quarter mile, 22.81, and doing all the dirty work. Murray is sitting back and saving ground behind this pace. But Brother Conway, to his credit, puts away the other speed, sets sail for home. And remember, this is 7/8 of a mile. That might have played to Murray's favor on this afternoon.
And that horse to the inside, and we thought it was a little bit of a closer's day. It's back in the woods. He's right back at you. I can see a lineup race if things don't get too crazy. Boy, Brother Conway, just won the battle. Just couldn't win the war here. Look at this effort to the wire. Murray, the beneficiary of that flow. I'm going to try to beat Murray in here with Brother Conway. I like him back 3rd off of a break, and I thought it was a little bit of a tell off of that dismal return, trying to, granted that was a sloppy sealed surface. He'd run, okay, not the greatest on that sealed surface, but they still kind of protected him. Right back again for Kieran. I think the 3 and the 5 back in the woods and Brother Conway can go a long way, maybe as a team around this racetrack.
And Brother Conway got the better of back in the woods in that last race. You'd think that maybe he'll do it again here. If there is a speed duel and Murray doesn't fire, can you make a case for Neon Sign coming up from Penn National? It's a long, long layoff, but this horse did some very good things, especially after being claimed by Tim Kreiser last year.
Yeah, if he beats this field off of this kind of break with this post position down inside, phenomenal job.
And it knocks me out everything.
Yeah, for Tim Kreiser. This horse has shown some ability. I think 5 Dreams is a horse you might have to watch out for also for Tim Kreiser to make the run from off the pace. Holy Synchronicity, he's not too far out of it. He kind of, he was bet down lower than Brother Conway last time out. We got the comment 4 wide, shifted in, shifted out, turn. Maybe they'll settle and try to make one run with Holy Synchronicity.
But we're hoping Brother Conway can turn the tables on Murray. 5, 3, 9, and 6 for Keith. 5, 2, 9, and 4 for me in race number 8.
Okay.
Let's take a look at race number 9. It's the Alma North Stakes. 6.5 furlongs, $125,000 is the purse for fillies and mares. Take out the 3 Admiral Hopper. The 5 Jean Marie ran very well to be second last night at Penn National, and then the big scratch. Mystic Lake was going to be the horse to catch and beat in here. Mystic Lake is out, and now it's more of a wide open race. This is the first leg of our final 50-cent pick 4 wager, and with Mystic Lake out, you've got a few more options. You're going with a price play, the 2 Alani, who looked so good in both of her prior starts here at Laurel Park.
And that's kind of sealed the deal for me. 2 for 2 at Laurel. Really good effort 2 races back. It's an okay, Happy Clouds, Miss Harriet, who's all right. Now, last time out at Delaware, I don't know what went wrong. I watched the race. Maybe it broke out slightly. Just never could get involved. Coming back to Laurel is going to be the key. I like the fact that she's got enough speed to lay close. You've got a question mark with Fiona's Magic. St. Benedict's prep just really threw in that clunker. Ways and means. Look at that group. She was 45-1 against them. I think she should get early position. If she needs to rate back a little bit and make 2 moves, I think she can. Michael Moore, a trainer I really respect. You're looking for value. I think we're still going to get it with Alani.
Andy Hernandez picks up the mount today on Alani, who should be forwardly placed. Easy Red is where I'm going to go, and this horse has to prove herself at the stakes level, but with the scratch of the favorite, maybe it helps her a little bit. She's won 3 of 4 starts since moving to the Eddie Keneally barn. Now, she was entered and scratched at Churchill on May the 26th, so she's going to have to do this off a little bit of a layoff. I do like her tactical speed, however. If the 2 and the 7 hook up, perhaps she can tuck in under Michael.
Yeah, I think that's going to be her best route. Just sit chilly just off of it a couple lengths and try to make that move into it. Now, off Lasix, I mean, she's made this improvement at all these races with Lasix. The numbers are going up since the barn change. She's a different filly right now. That's my only kind of question mark for Easy Red. I like the form she's in. We've got Fiona's Magic. Off time, Ned Allard, we've seen him do this move off time with Quince Brew. Will it happen again for this graded stakes type?
Fiona's Magic did show a lot of ability sprinting earlier in her career. Ned told me earlier this week this horse needed about 6 months off due to various physical issues. They threw her to the wolves, going 2 turns in her last 2 races as a 3-year-old filly. So this seems like a very attractive spot for her, and I expect her to show fresh speed off of the layoff. Maybe she's the one to catch turning for home.
She certainly could be. You could see that J-Rod getting aggressive, trying to go ahead and steal this race. St. Benedict's prep, she's just steady. She's had races over this racetrack, and she's a chaser, and I think she's a stayer. I mean, wouldn't surprise me if she gets to the lead against this group if she's aggressively handled. We'll wait and see, but I think she can just stay the trip. She's quality.
She's quality, and listen, she's been knocking on the door, and she's getting some class relief. 2-1-7-4 for Keith, 4-1-6-3 for me in the Alma North. Race number 10 is the Prince George's County, $125,000, mile and an eighth on the turf. Take out the main track only entrant, the 6 Passion. This race goes through the number 2 Trickery, Graham Motion, John Velasquez. This horse has shown a lot of talent in his career. Winner of the Grade 1 Belmont Derby, 3rd in the prestigious Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile in his seasonal debut. And last time out, I talked to Graham earlier this week, and Graham told me he wished he scratched Trickery because he said that turf course was just softer than soft, and the horse just didn't seem to handle it.
No, did not. Had that outer post, was bet down, made that little run, dueled around the final turn just to fade through the stretch, maybe a little protect late, beaten 14 and some change. Mile and an eighth, I am concerned. But I don't think the flow is going to be terribly hot. And again, like I talked about with Brother Conway back in the woods, I know this is a turf race, settling things down. It's a quality group, but a horse like Wolfie's Dynaghost, who had trouble up at Woodbine, stumbled, was taken back off the pace to rally into it. I think it's a horse that goes. I think he's a little bit quicker if he wants to go ahead and go, and Trickery won't be rushed, but I think he can stalk and make the move into it. If things don't get crazy, these horses can stay, and I think they're going to get a chance today. And just the way this whole total field sets up, they're the two primary speeds to me, and I think they've got enough if things don't get crazy on the front.
You make a very good point about Wolfie's Dynaghost, because I think if this horse breaks, is going right to the front, and we've seen in the past that he can do it when he does get to the lead and relax. He's very dangerous at a price in here.
Yeah.
King Max, the number 5, has won off layoffs of 338 days in the past, so this 483-day layoff shouldn't be an issue. This horse was competing against some good competition. Mile and an eighth is no problem for him. They tried to stretch him out in the McDermott. He ran well against a good field. I'm just curious to see what we get, but he does need pace, and he may not get it.
Show a video spotlight real quick.
Yep.
I know we're running short of time, of a little bit of a tough luck horse in the 4, Siege of Boston. Jimmy Toner trying to get off the schneid.
Yeah, Siege of Boston is a horse that's had some tough luck trips in his career. He always seems to run well. He's down on the inside as we turn for home here at Gulfstream Park, and as you can see, there's just nowhere to go. Trying to alter course out there, now in between horses, and now time's running out, and he's still over and behind. Never really got optimal clearance. Siege of Boston is a horse, interestingly enough, who showed speed 2 starts back, and maybe that's what they'll try to do first time off of a 6-month layoff.
I could see him getting in a position right behind the 2, Trickery, and the 7, Wolfie's Dynaghost. Yeah, in that race, Fort Washington, your grade 3 dinner party, maybe a little bit of slight relief for Siege of Boston, but man, he's had some tough trips.
2-7-4-5 for Keith, 5-4-1-7 for me in the Prince George's County. The big one is race number 11, the $175,000 Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash. Take out the 1, the 4, the 6, and the 8. Celtic Contender is the home team.
Yeah.
Maryland bred, Hammy Smith, Victor Carrasco. We've got a trainer stat.
Home field advantage, I'm hoping, for Hammy Smith. Celtic Contender for Hammy, second after a 61 to 120-day layoff. On the dirt, 7 for the last 35, 20% hit rate there with a 257 ROI. Celtic Contender, he's not quite as fast early, I don't think, in the first quarter as maybe a horse like Subrogate or Dean Delivers. He's got some really good efforts over this track. I thought tuned up well with a try at Pimlico, Booth, Epic Ride. Rated back, took back off the speed. Overland just couldn't really make an impact. I still think he fits against these, and I think he's going to get a good spying trip from just off of it. He'll be looming by the time they turn for home.
Dean Delivers won this race last year. He and Subrogate exit a common race. We have a video spotlight for Dean Delivers and Subrogate. Remember that both of these horses were coming off lengthy layoffs this afternoon. Subrogate had missed a lot of time due to a severe quarter crack injury. He didn't change leads in the stretch, but that's kind of him. And as for Dean Delivers, he sort of ran really well considering it was his first start of the year.
Yeah, the winner of this race last year, Dean Delivers. If we have that video spotlight, guys, for May 26th at Monmouth, love to get it. Thank you very much. Dan, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, we see Subrogate able to save ground. I know Jorge Duarte wasn't pleased with the inside post position, but did get the rail run on his wrong lead. Now on the outside, Dean Delivers is grinding. This was a pretty good field they were in against. Bucarino came back and earned, I think, a 97 Buyer speed figure up at Delaware. But I think off the layoff, these horses got exactly what they needed for the DeFrancis Dash. They'll both be tough if they don't duel themselves into submission.
With the scratch of Super Chow, I think it's all systems go for Dean Delivers. He'll just try to go ahead and take it right from the get-go, in my opinion.
Jorge Duarte told me he's sending Subrogate to the front, so we'll be seeing. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a barbecue. 3-7-5-2 for Keith, 7-5-3-2 for me in the 11th. Let's close things out with race number 12. We're going 1 mile on the turf. Scratch the A's in here, 11 through 14, 16 to 12-5 maiden claimer. Maryland breds in for the 20. We have a video spotlight on your top pick, the number 1, Imperial Spy, and this horse just got into all sorts of trouble.
Imperial Spy and Gordito come out of the same race on June the 6th, going a mile on 16th at Laurel. It was the Tyson's Delivery race, so we're going to see that again, but and a lot will depend maybe on the chance of these horses, how well does Tyson's Delivery do earlier, but boy, Imperial Spy, nine posts in that last race. Check quarter, block date, steady. We're going to pick it up here into the far turn.
Yeah, Imperial Spy you're going to see is down towards the inside, and he wants to get out, and he eventually gets hemmed in by Gordito. Imperial Spy's got plenty of run in the stretch, but he has nowhere to go.
No, he's just laying in there. And
here he is. He's moving in the yellow silks now, Imperial Spy.
Yeah, moving.
Down
There's the check,
now,
number 10.
So he got hemmed in there by Gordito. So now he's got to regather himself. Gordito is now 4 wide in the pink cap. Where's Imperial Spy going to go now? Well, he's going to try to get to the outside. No, there's nothing there. We're going to try to split. No, there's nothing there. Now we're going to try to get outside. No, there's nothing there for Imperial Spy, and he just lost all chance. The horse obviously ran well on the turf and is just seeking a clear trip. He's your top pick. I like Gordito in there. We're running short of time. Let's take a look again at our top selections. I'm going to go with the 1 Imperial, the 8 Gordito. You're going with the number 1 Imperial Spy. Best play time.
Best play time. We're going to go to the 8th race. There it is. There's last race, 1, 8, 10, 5, 8, 1, 9, 10 for Dan. Yes, best play. Brother Conway. What race is that again? We got a 12 race card here. I believe it's race number 8. Thank you. Brother Conway for Kieran McGee at a 9-2 morning line. I think we'll come down a little bit. We've got the scratch of the 1 CPGB, but Back in the Woods goes. Brother Conway stalks, pounces, and holds on today.
Do it for Michael. It's going to be my best play. Race number 2. Maybe he can get to the front. 3-time winner against a non-winner's a 2 life in Stony. 16 minutes to post for race number 1 on DeFrancis Dash Day at Laurel Park. Main track fast, turf is firm. Mackenzie Pfeiffer, Kelly Francois, Dave Rodman will take you through the action. Let's go up to the voice of Maryland Racing, Dave Rodman, for scratches and changes.
All right, good luck.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Laurel Park, where the main track is fast and the turf course is firm. 12 races on the card on DeFrancis Dash Day. Here's a look at your Laurel Park changes. In the first race, no changes in the opener. Second race, scratch number 2, Tethered Soul. Second race, scratch 2, Tethered Soul. Third race, scratch number 4, Egypt. Scratch 6, Danner. Number 10, Pharaoh's Mark is 2 over. Scratch 11, Snowy Night. Third race. Fourth race, the Deputed Testimony. Scratch number 2, Mo Visitor. Scratch the 2. In the fifth, scratch 1, Tartable. Scratch 6, Let's Go Lando. Scratch 9, Our Day Will Come. 1, 6, and 9 out of the fifth race. In the sixth, scratch 1, Maupassant. Number 2, Line is 2 over. 3, Triple Sec is 1 over. Triple Sec racing with blinkers on. 5, Tyson's Delivery, 2 over. 6, Mycroft is 2 over. The 11 runs, Blackthorn Brusca. Jockey Ismerio Villalobos. Ismerio Villalobos on the 11. Scratch 12, 13, 14, and 15. Knocker Punk Ethics. That's My Boxer and By the Riverside. The seventh race. Scratch 3, Gaga's Hamsum. Scratch 4, River Sen. Scratch 6, Sip in Time. The 8, Margarita Days is 2 over. Scratch 9, Sarah's Rose. Seventh race. Eighth race. Scratch number 1, CPG. Eighth race, scratch 1. Ninth race, the Alma North Stakes. Number 1, St. Benedict's Prep. Owned by Ronald P. Stewart. And the jockey, John Velasquez. John Velasquez on the 1. Number 2, Ilani. Jockey Andy Hernandez. Andy Hernandez on the 2. Scratch 3, Admiral Hopper. Scratch 5, Jean Marie. Scratch 8, Mystic Lake. 10th race, the Prince George's County. Scratch 6, Passioned. Out of race 10, 6 Passioned out. 11th race. The Frank J. DeFrancis Memorial Dash. Scratch 1, Patinga's Twin. 4, Faster Gator. Scratch 6, Super Chow. Scratch 8, Happy is a Choice. Twelfth race, number 2, Fiery Debut. No front shoes. 7, White Blue is 4 over. 8, Gordito, 2 over. Scratch the alternates 11, 12, 13, 14, Basic Miles, Patty Aguirre, Union Thunder, and Shane Falco, race 12. Track fast, turf firm. Good luck this afternoon at Laurel Park.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Here, kicking off Super Saturday at Laurel Park, and it all starts here, going 5.5 on the turf, a super competitive starter optional event, and a full day of racing, 12 races on the card. It'll also be the start of that early value pick 5 with that low 12% takeout. Keith puts together a bargain buy of a ticket, $16 here